Oh. It's fine. It's casual because we landed on an what a time to be alive. Hello my bookworms, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sydney. In today's video we will be doing my Spin the Bottle TBR game for March. So hey, what's up? How are you? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me for a little bit. If this is the first Spin the Bottle TBR that you are landing on, I will leave the link down in the description for the full playlist of all of the previous installments of this game. But just so you know, the rules have changed throughout the birthing of this game. The first thing we do every single month is see how I did last month. And if I completed my TBR, then I get a benefit. If I did not complete my TBR, then I get a punishment. And friends, this was my TBR last month. It was very thick and I did not successfully complete it. I think that I really actually did have a good chance of completing it, but I decided to mood read, which part of me is really proud of myself for because I don't normally allow myself to do that. And I'm having a great time right now. I decided to pick up A Court of Wings and Ruin after I finished Crescent City, House of Sky and Breath. I just needed to, so we will have to get a punishment. Before we do the punishment, we introduced a new thing last month, which is called the Swig program. And this entails me setting a goal for myself throughout the month, and if I complete it, then I obtain a swig, which, if you remember, is kind of like a free pass. Like if I use a swig during the month, then that means that I can swap out a prompt at any point in the month or swap out a book that I don't really feel like reading, and I could put a new book in its place on my TBR as a placeholder. So the challenge that I set for myself last month was moving my body or working out 3 times a week. And let me say, even though I did not complete that goal entirely, I did move my body and work out more than I have in the previous couple months. So no, I do not get a swig for this next game or this next month, but I'm moving in the right direction. So I think that I'm going to use that same exact goal for me this next month, and I think that I have a better chance of accomplishing it. So last month obviously was a little bit messy. I did not get a swig, nor did I finish my TBR, but it was a month of calibration, if you will, because I let myself mood read, which is a great thing for my mental health. And I moved my body more than I did the previous month. So onwards and upwards. Until now, I guess we have to pick a punishment. So we're gonna go back down a little bit. Okay, so we have our mug and all of the prompts in here are punishment prompts. Some of them are absolutely terrible. Like they could really fuck up my entire month if I pick them. But there are some in here that are like nicer and I could make work if I do end up picking them. So I'm going to not edit anything right now so that you can see that I'm picking at random, because I don't know, let's just pick this one. It's not that bad. It's add a spin punishment prompt, so instead of 5 books being on our TBR, it will be at least 6. This is actually kind of like super doable. Some of them in here are really rude, so I will take this. But that being said, we can just get right on into the game. So let me set up the board for my Patreon only spin, where I will cover every single space with a prompt submitted to me by my patrons, and then after that we will mix and mingle and then play the game as it will. Okay, so the very first spin, we landed on a prompt that says, put a poll on Twitter with the first sentence and or just words to describe the book without saying the title, and then have your followers choose it for you. So I'm going to put a poll up for like an hour or so, and I'll let that go while we finish the game, and then I'll come back at the end and say which one of my picks won. So I will go compile that poll, and then we'll jump on into spin number 2 and then backtrack later. Okay, the second spin, we got a mood read. I love that little smiley face guy. He is always welcome here. And the book that I'm going to choose for this mood read is The Inheritance of Orchidia Divina by Zoraida Kedorova. And this book is actually the buddy read pick for my Patreon book club, so I'm very excited to be able to get it on this TBR. And this cover is just so stunning. It is absolutely beautiful, and it sounds so interesting. And in the story, we basically follow the Montoyas, who grew up with not much and are parented by a matriarch that doesn't really leave the house ever, not even for baptisms, graduations, or anything important to the kids. But when Orchidia Divina invites them to her funeral and to collect their inheritance, they hope to learn the secrets that she has held onto so tightly their whole lives. Instead, Orchidia has transformed into a ceiba tree, her limbs stretching into roots and branches, leaving them with more questions than answers. 7 years later, her gifts have manifested in different ways for all of the children, granting them unexpected blessings and powers. But soon, a hidden figure begins to tear through their family tree, picking them off one by one as it seeks to destroy Orchidia's line. Determined to save what's left of their family and uncover the truth behind their inheritance, her descendants travel to Ecuador, to the place where Orchidia buried her secrets and broken promises and never looked back. I think that this sounds absolutely special. Like, it seems like almost a surreal book because it talks about her growing into this tree, which I don't know if it's literally or figuratively, or if it's one of those urns, you know, that like you can grow into a tree. But also, it talks about powers and things, so it makes me feel like it's more on like the fantastical side, which sounds absolutely amazing. And it sounds like it's gonna be like a family-centered book, which I really enjoy. So this sounds fab, and I'm really excited to put it on the TBR. Let's go on to spin number 3. Okay, like, I know what I'm gonna do for this one. Okay, hold on. The prompt we got was read a book that was recommended to you by a stranger. Oh my god, there's no other option. But I do have a blind date with a book package. That has to be it. Okay, so this one isn't necessarily, it's not recommended to me specifically, but I feel like this is the most fun option that I have in my shelves right now because I've been dying to open this package for literally probably 2 weeks now. I don't know why or how I have this self-control. I don't know where it's coming from. I was gonna do this for a vlog, but let's just do it now and make myself read it sometime this month. So my local bookstore has started doing these blind date with a book packages, and when I went there, they only had like 5. They only had like 5 left, and they're going to continue to restock them, and I'm excited to, you know, keep doing them. But this is the one that sounded like the most interesting, and I have no idea what to expect. I don't know what it could be. It sounds like a contemporary though. So it says, imagine waking up and you can't remember the last 10 years and the love of your life is missing. Sounds terrible. So we have this really cute thing, and this is what we're doing. Okay, I'm nervous. All right, are you ready? Let's see what it is. These colors look like Daisy Jones and the Six. That doesn't make sense. It can't be. That's not Daisy Jones. Wait, this is exciting. It's What Alice Forgot by Liane Moriarty. Wait, I know this author. I've read Apples Never Fall by her, and I really liked it. I think this is the best that it could have gone. That's a cute little cover detail there. Oh, this makes me nervous. Okay, so What Alice Forgot is the book that was recommended to me by a stranger. It's my blind date with a book. It says, Alice Love is 29, crazy about her husband Nick, and pregnant with their first child. So imagine Alice's surprise when she comes to it on the floor of a gym. She hates the gym and is whisked off to the hospital where she discovers the honeymoon is truly over. She is actually 39 years old, has 3 kids, and is getting divorced. Whoa, that knock on her head has misplaced 10 years. Now Alice must piece together the events of the lost decade and find out if it's possible to reconstruct her life at the same time. She needs to figure out why her sister hardly talks to her and how it is that she's become one of those super skinny moms with the really expensive clothes. Ultimately, Alice must discover whether forgetting is a blessing or a curse and how to start over. This sounds bizarre. It sounds like some story that I read when I was in like elementary school. It wasn't this one, obviously, but like the amnesia part sounds like something that like brings me back to like nostalgia. I'm kind of excited to figure out what this is all about. I think that this went actually really well. I really did not know what I was going to get in that package. So the fact that it's an author that I know I like their writing is exciting. So wow, this is on the TBR. And let's go for spin number 4. So spin number 4, we got a prompt that is read a new release. I immediately went to my book of the month shelf. Well, I don't have a shelf, I have stacks. My new house will have shelves. But I went to my book of the month stack and I had a couple in mind that I really wanted to get to. Some of the ones that were at the super top of my list were chunky, and I have a couple other chunky books that I need to try to get to this month. So I went for, the smaller ones. And the one that I'm picking is The Maid by Nita Prose. I feel like it has gained a lot of traction. I think Megan Thee Stallion posted about it or some shit. I don't know. But I have it, and I have actually heard really, really great things about it. And in this one, our main character is Molly, who struggles with social skills and misreads the intentions of others. Her Gran used to interpret the world for her, codifying it into simple rules that Molly could live by. But Gran died a few months ago, and now Molly has been having to navigate the worlds and complexities by herself. No matter, she throws herself with gusto into her work as a hotel maid. But her orderly life is upended the day she enters the suite of the infamous and wealthy Charles Black, only to find it in a state of disarray and Mr. Black himself dead in his bed. Before she knows what's happening, Molly's unusual demeanor has the police targeting her as their lead suspect. She quickly finds herself caught in a web of deception, one she has no idea how to untangle. Fortunately for Molly, friends she never knew she had unite with her in a search for clues to what really happened to Mr. Black. But will they be able to find the real killer before it's too late? I read a review of this one on Goodreads. I don't remember who it was by, but they said that it was very character driven, and obviously it follows the mystery and things like that as well. But it was predominantly focusing on Molly and what's going on with her. And I really liked that idea. And the way that person on Goodreads described her character made me feel like I might want to, lay down my life for her or something casual like that. So I'm excited. I'm excited to have this on the TBR, and we're gonna go on to spin number 5. Number 5 started out really rough. We have to add a spin at the end of the spin, so now we're reading at least 7 books this month. It's fine, it's casual because we landed on another mood read. Wow, what a time to be alive. And this one, I'm pretty confident in my decision. The fact that I decided to mood read A Court of Wings and Ruin this past month, so now the only logical way forward is to mood read A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. I mean, what else is there? So this is the 4th book in the ACOTAR series, and it's a short one. I love it. I don't really know what to expect from this. I don't know anything about it. I'm not reading the back because I'm not done with ACOFAR. ACOWAR. But yeah, so this is gonna be my mood read, and that's it. We can go on to spin number 6. I don't know if I've gotten this prompt before. I think I've gotten a similar prompt like this from Daryan in one of my past episodes where I had to call her, phone a friend. But this one might also be her prompt because it was a Patreon pick, I believe, and I'm pretty sure she submitted this one. But it is read a book with a title that has 17 letters in it, and it took me a really long time. I was counting for a while, but I have found one. And the book that I'm choosing for this prompt is The Charm Offensive by Alison Cochrane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Wow. Wow, super excited about this one. I've been wanting to read this for a while. So in the Charm Offensive, we have our main character, Dev, who has always believed in fairy tales, so it's no wonder that he spent his career crafting them on a long-running reality show called Ever After. It's kind of like a Bachelor or Bachelorette style show. He always scripts the perfect love story for his contestants, even as his own love life crashes and burns. But then the show casts disgraced tech wonderkind Charlie Winshaw as its star. Charlie is far from the romantic Prince Charming Ever After expects. He doesn't believe in true love and agreed to appear on the show only as a last-ditch effort to rehabilitate his image. In front of the cameras, he's a stiff, anxious mess with no idea how to date 20 women and national television. As Dev fights to get Charlie to connect with the contestants on a whirlwind worldwide tour, they begin to open up to each other, and Charlie realizes he has better chemistry with Dev than with his co-stars. But even reality TV has a script, and in order to find their way to happily ever after, they'll have to reconsider whose love story gets told and why. I think this sounds really, really cute, and I know how it made Daryan feel when she read it, so it makes me very excited to pick it up, and I'm very excited to finally have it on a TBR. So let's go on to spin number 7. Hopefully, this is our last one. Number 7, we got Juno pick. Juno is my cat, and if you know anything about my cat, you know that she kind of sucks. I really hope she doesn't bite me on camera again, because you really never know what you're gonna get with this cat. She only wants to love you when she wants to love you, and if you try to do much else, you could end up with multiple scratch marks all over your body. But let's roll the dice, shall we? We will set up 4 or 5 books. I don't know, I'm gonna compile a pile, and then I'll put some of her treats on it. And then whichever one she goes to first is the one that we'll read. So okay, wish me luck. Wow. First of all, I want to apologize for the absolutely terrible filming angle and framing. I accidentally left her treats in the corner of the camera, but you still saw which book she ended up on, and that book was Cultish by Amanda Montell. This is one of my favorite covers to date. I think it's absolutely stunning, and I'm very excited to put it on the TBR. This one says, through juicy storytelling and cutting-edge original research, Montell exposes the linguistic elements that make a wide spectrum of communities cultish, revealing not only how cult language affects followers of groups as notorious as Heaven's Gate, but also how it pervades our modern startups, fitness brands, and Instagram feeds. Incisive and darkly funny, this enrapturing take on the curious social science of power and belief will make you hear fanatical language of cultish everywhere. So obviously it's more of a nonfiction book, and I'm really trying to read more nonfiction. This was recommended to me by Noelle over at Noelle 7 Pages, and I actually ordered like a whole box of different nonfiction books from her recommendations, and this was at the top of the list, so I'm very excited about it. Yeah, I think that it's going to be super interesting. I'm very interested in cults and cult type mentality, so yeah, I'm very excited to have this on the TBR. And that is the last spin, thank God. Oh, but we have to go back to spin number 1. Let's see what won. Wow, and it has been an hour, would you believe it or not? So the final results, wow, so excited about. I was really hoping that this one would win. The final results landed us to the sentence that was, I am a frozen statue of a girl in the woods. And that sentence came directly from The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Booley. Another stunning cover. Wow. I love this so much. And this book was actually gifted to me by Mel over at Mel Reads, and we were actually maybe possibly potentially buddy reading this, so I just texted her and let her know that it's on the TBR. We'll see what she says, but regardless, your girl will be reading this. And I didn't even know what to expect from this. I don't know what I thought that it was, but I did not think that it was a thriller or anything like that, but it is. I don't know what I thought. In the story, we have our main character, Daunis, who has to put her future of going to college on hold to stay at home to look after her fragile mother, but the only bright spot is meeting Jamie, the charming new recruit on her brother Levi's hockey team. Even as Donnie starts to fall for Jamie, she senses that the hockey star is hiding something, and everything comes to light when Daunis witnesses a shocking murder thrusting her into an FBI investigation of a lethal new drug. Reluctantly, Daunis agrees to go undercover, but the search for truth is more complicated than Daunis imagined, exposing secrets and old scars, and at the same time she grows concerned with an investigation that seems more focused on punishing the offenders than protecting the victims. Daunis must learn what it means to be a strong Ojibwe woman, and how far she'll go for her community even if it tears apart the only world she's ever known. Again, I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't this, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to pick it up. I've heard great things, like literally nothing but great things about it, and it's about damn time that I put it on a TBR, so thank you, Twitter followers, for picking this one for me. So that was the last spin, but there's one more thing that I want to talk about. In the end of March, I will be co-hosting the Backlist Readathon, which is really cool. The Backlist Readathon was actually the first readathon that I ever participated in as a little baby booktuber, and now I'm helping co-host it, so I'm really excited about it. The announcement video is probably out by the time that this video is out, so I will leave it linked down in the description. So check that out if you want to know more about it. But for it, there are 6 prompts, and you don't have to do all of them. You can double up on prompts. You can do whatever the heck you want, but it's focused on reading backlist titles. But that's it. That's the last thing that I have for you. So if you are still watching, then leave the thinking bubble emoji down below in the comments. While you're down there, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. I always appreciate your support. And thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me for a little bit. And of course, be kind to one another and happy reading. Bye.